Hello, and welcome back to the Email Marketing module. In this lesson, we will learn about the remaining configuration options, the reporting menu, and begin reviewing the Campaigns menu. Let's start by selecting the Email Marketing module. We will then open the Configuration menu and select Blacklisted Email Addresses. Under this menu, we will find a list of emails that have blacklisted themselves through the unsubscribe link on mailings they have received or have been manually blacklisted by an internal user. The default view displays the date that an email was blacklisted and the email address that has been blacklisted. A mailing list contact can blacklist themselves by clicking the Blacklist Me button found by following the unsubscribe link included in mailing templates. Let's hop over to another tab to see what the unsubscribe link looks like from the user's end. Here we are logged into a MailTrap account with a mailing we received open. Let's click on the Unsubscribe button. On this page, which we are directed to when selecting Unsubscribe and Manage Subscriptions, we can choose which mailing subscriptions to receive by ticking the box next to the mailing subscription and then selecting Apply Changes. Unsubscribing to the mailing list will automatically untick the box next to a mailing list. Additionally, from the user's end, it will say Not Subscribed next to the mailing list, as it does next to the newsletter mailing list. Selecting the Exclude Me button to the right will prevent the recipient from receiving emails from any mailing list. When selecting Exclude Me, the user gets a message of You have been successfully added to our block list. You will not be contacted anymore by our services. If a recipient no longer wants to be blacklisted, the Come Back option can be selected. When selecting Come Back, the message then changes to Email removed from our block list. Let's return to the other screen. By clicking on New, emails can be manually added to the blacklist. Let's type in the email address field mitchell@gmail.com and hit the Enter key. Let's now return to our list view of blacklisted email addresses. We now see mitchell@gmail.com in the list. Let's click on mitchell@gmail.com to return to the form view. Following adding an email, when in the form view, the Unblacklist button appears. When we click this button, we will be prompted to confirm that we want to unblacklist this email and to type in a reason. We will go ahead and type in Request to be removed from blacklist and hit the Remove Address from Blacklist button. Now, an archived banner will appear on the email as this email has now been removed from the blacklist. Let's open the Configuration menu again and click on Favorite Filters. Here you can create filters that will appear when selecting recipients for a campaign. Let's click New and select a name for our filter. Let's name this filter Correct Address Types. We can then select the recipient model we would like to use. The model indicates the area in Odoo in which the recipients are coming from. In this case, we will choose Contacts, which means we are selecting recipients from the Contacts module. In the Domain section, we can then select what rule or rules we want this filter to have. We will click on the Add Filter button and then on the field that says ID and change it to Address Type. We will then move over to the next field and select Is Not Equals. Finally, for the last field, we will select Invoice Address. After creating the rule, we see that 68 records match the rule. By clicking on the grey plus or the red bin buttons, we can add or remove rules. The Add Branch button in between the grey plus and the red bin button allow you to create even more advanced rules. We will now be able to use this filter when selecting recipients for a mailing repeatedly. We will also be able to use it in combination with other filters. Let's now head over to the Mailings menu and click New. In the Recipient field, when we add contact, you can select a favorite filter in the field that says Reload a Favorite Filter. This is a useful feature for sending your mailing to your desired audience. Now let's look at the Reporting menu by clicking on the Reporting tab at the top and go to Mass Mailing Analysis. The default view is a bar chart showing the number of emails sent per emailing. By clicking on the Measures button, you can change the data that is displayed. For example, let's click on Measures and then Scheduled. Now the number of emails scheduled per mailing is displaying. Let's now go back to the Sent measure. Clicking the stacked icon changes the bar chart display. To the right, clicking the ascending and descending icons change the order of the mailings to show in increasing or decreasing order of mailings sent. Clicking the line chart changes the display of the data to show as a line chart, and clicking on the pie chart changes the data to display in a pie. The three buttons to the far right allow you to switch between a graph, pivot, and list view. We are currently in the graph view. Let's now click the pivot view. This view provides a great deal of flexibility. Using the plus or minus sign, you can change how mailing data is displayed. For example, let's click the plus sign next to Newsletter 1. Here we can choose which fields we would like to display. Let's select Mass Mailing Campaign. Now we can see that the Newsletter 1 mailing is part of the newsletter campaign. To expand this data display to all mailings, simply click the Expand All icon at the top. Now you can see that the campaign is displaying, if applicable, for all mailings that are part of this table. On the left of the Expand All icon, you can flip the axis with one click and flip it back with another click. To the right, this icon allows you to download the report. Let's now click on the Campaigns menu. Here we see our campaigns in various stages. The stage names and order have been configured via campaign stages found under the Configuration menu. You can change the stage of a campaign by clicking the campaign and dragging it to a different stage. For example, let's click on the Newsletter campaign and drag it to the Scheduled stage. By clicking the three dots in the right corner of the Newsletter tile, you can add a color to the tile. Adding a color to the tile can be a useful organizational tool. Let's make it red, as this campaign has a red marketing tag. Let's now click on the Newsletter campaign. A campaign can have multiple mailings with different content, recipients, and scheduled dates. This newsletter campaign has 3 different mailings, as you can see under the Mailings tab. You can add a mailing to a campaign by clicking Add a Line, where you can design a mailing that will be included in the campaign. Let's click Add a Line. When doing this, you are prompted to design a mailing and select recipients. Let's press the X button in the top right corner and continue reviewing the form view of a campaign. At the top, you can see 2 buttons. The first button is Send Mailing, which we will click on now. Clicking on this button will prompt you to design a new mailing similarly to pressing Add a Line. After designing the mailing, you can choose to send the mailing right away by pressing the Send button, schedule for a later time by pressing the Schedule button, test the mailing by pressing the Test button, or add it to the list of templates by pressing the Add to Templates button. Let's now go back to the Newsletter campaign by selecting the Newsletter breadcrumb. The Send SMS button allows you to send an SMS message to selected recipients as part of a campaign. Following configuring, an SMS message can be found in the SMS Smart button. Let's open the SMS Smart button, where we will go over a pre-configured SMS. We will click on the first SMS message in the draft stage. Here you can see the title of this SMS message is Newsletter SMS. In the case of SMS messages, the subject of the SMS message is the internal title of the SMS, whereas for mailings, the subject is the subject that recipients see in their inbox. In the Recipients field, we select the model your recipients are from. In this case, the recipients are part of mailing lists. If you select the Recipients drop-down, you can see that recipients can come from various models, such as contacts or leads, opportunities. Since we have selected that our recipients are from the mailing list model, we are prompted to select a mailing list to the right. In this case, the Newsletter mailing list is selected. Under the SMS Content tab is where you write the body of your SMS. Here, our SMS message will say, "Our monthly newsletter is out. Check your inbox to find out what's new." Heading over to the A/B Testing tab, you can configure A/B testing for your SMS message. A/B testing is a randomized experimentation process in which 2 different versions of a variable, such as an SMS message or mailing, are sent to 2 different segments of recipients to determine which has the greatest impact and drives business outcomes. In this case, we have selected to allow A/B testing on 50% of recipients. This means that 50% will receive one version of the SMS and the other 50% will receive a different version. Via the Winner Selection drop-down menu, you can choose how to determine which version of the SMS is more effective. The Send Final Date defines where the winning version is determined. The Create Alternative Version button prompts you to design the alternative version of your SMS message. After creating the alternative version, you will find it in the Kanban view of SMS marketing. Let's use the breadcrumbs to return to SMS marketing. Let's open the SMS titled Newsletter SMS version 2. As you can see here, this SMS contains a different message to be sent to the other 50% of recipients. Let's now review the Settings tab. By ticking Include Opt-out Link, recipients will have the option to opt out of receiving SMS messages. Additionally, to the right you can select which campaign the SMS is part of and which employee is responsible. You have now learned about all the configuration options, reporting, and part of the campaigns menu. Let's head over to the next lesson, where we will finish learning about the campaigns menu. Thank you for watching, and until next time.